I'm Matt Braunger. This might help.
I am not a doctor.
This might help.
I'm not a professional.
Let's have fun. This honestly is a good time.
Honestly, I got no idea what I'm doing. What's going on, Corey?
I'm Matt Braunger. This might help. The podcast.
Welcome to This Might Help. Let's get right to it. You know what the fucking deal is. You know what the show is. Just a lot of fun and hopefully okay advice, but sometimes it's bad. But hey, we're not doctors. As I always say, this is not Dr. Drew. I am joined by an old Chicago friend, someone who, when I was there, I definitely looked up to, and I still do, because he is, shall I say, a titan in the industry. David? David Koechner is here.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Matthew? Thank you.
Oh, I appreciate you coming on. I love the Devil's Hollywood background you've got behind you. That's
Right,
good.
Hollywood, baby.
How are you keeping your head above water these days? How are you feeling? How's life?
Good. I have 5 children, so that doesn't really allow any excuse any day.
Yeah.
Get up and go. Get up and go, baby.
That's what's up. I have a 6-month-old daughter, and I feel the same way, but it's so bush league compared to you. You know, I mean, it's just I'm like a sports agent started out. You're like the head of the NFL. You're like, look, I got a lot of people to cover here. I don't have time.
I'm the single cornerback in a nickelback offense.
I'm the nose guard. I run it and break it up. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't it center you though? Like, doesn't it kind of? Did you find that from when you had your first child that a lot of the bullshit just kind of floated away by necessity?
Am I to be honest?
Please.
No. I'd say that's the goal though, is to find some stillness.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That remains the goal, you know?
Right.
I remember, although I was never more harried than we had 2 kids and then we had twins.
Yeah.
And that was, wow.
Yes.
That was overwhelming. I was just talking to my son today because we got puppies 2.5 months after we had the twins.
Jesus.
And I remember thinking then, like, wow, that was really stupid. And one of those dogs is gone now, but now that second dog of those puppies, it's on its last legs. So we were thinking about that today. It's like, wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, but that's you have those little signposts along the way from, hey, remember this? I mean, my wife and I we laugh now about like, when will you just go to a place? Just go. Don't worry about nothing. You know. That's next level. Look back and to have a dog like that long. I will. You met my wife at Saturday Night Live the first time, and I'm going to go ahead and tell that story because it's one of my favorites. It's when I met Will. You introduced me to Will Farrell.
Yes.
And you were there with the Anchorman gang, all of them. Steve Carell, Will Farrell, Paul Rudd, and you guys are all in your regalia. And it was when Anchorman 2 was coming out, and
this is December 2013.
Thank you. And so you guys went on to confront the band One Direction,
right?
And you were saying like, you're ripping us off, you're doing what we're doing, you know, and you brought your daughter,
yes,
to meet one of them. She wanted to go.
Yep.
And we were in the hallway. Tara at the time repped someone who was on there, and we were going down the hallway, and you're like, hey man. And it's that thing we find when we see like people from the old Chicago crew. It's like, what are you doing here?
Right.
What's going on?
Right.
Why aren't you? Hey, come here. Come with me. And you were like, we were in this shitty little, like a hotel room, dressing room upstairs. You're like, no, come with me. And we went and hung out. You let us hang out in your dressing room. And you're like, have you met Will? And I was like, no. And he brought Will in. And then a bunch of us were just talking. And there was this moment where Will and I our eyes met, and we just started. He was like One Direction, and I was like, yeah, it's too bad Jeremy isn't here. And we immediately started riffing about Jeremy, the unattractive, overweight, asthmatic member of One Direction. And it was fun to just pile on with him and go, he's the nicest guy. Not a great dancer, doesn't smell nice. And it was because he's such socially, he's a very awkward guy. He kind of just, he doesn't really want to, like Will doesn't really, he doesn't like you and me, we riff, we play, whoever's around, we're like, hey, what is your name? What are you doing? He kind of just, he's on stage and he's off, which I thought was.
It's both, it depends on what else is going on with him. And, he's got a lot of people coming at him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's days when it's all bits and sometimes it's just reflective. So was this the live show or the dress rehearsal you're talking? Live show. Okay. So my daughter was gone by then because she came to the dress rehearsal show and she was just spent. She got to come. So we all rehearsed together in Will's dressing room, and those dressing rooms are about 10 feet by 10 feet at the most.
Right.
And so it's all 4 of us and all 5 of them and my daughter Margot, and we're rehearsing the song in Will's dressing room, and Margot is just trembling, so excited. So let's see, that's she was 12, I think, maybe at the time. Yeah, maybe 11. So it was like just perfect. She had, I think she had 200 One Direction, pictures on her walls and her ceilings. Yeah. So it was one of those times in your life as a dad, you're like, oh my God, this confluence of things that are happening that I get to give her this gift. I get to be on SNL and she gets to meet One Direction. Yeah. So that was perfect.
That's fantastic. And you engage. I've seen you in public. If someone is like Champ from across the room, you'll run over, start doing Champ. Any of your characters, you will and you'll just sit with people and riff with them, and you kind of just sail out of there. Do you think that comes from the improv background? Were you always like a outward person growing up?
Probably. That both of it. Yeah, probably the improv background. Also, Matt, I feel like this is kind of my job.
Yeah.
I mean, but here's the thing, I love meeting people. Yeah. So that's the other part of it. And then again, it's case to case because if it's in an airport, less so.
Yeah.
You're in a destination and then you're also stuck there. So if you engage with a person, they kind of circle around and you might have an hour before your flight and then it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah. You're trapped. I always I loved bartending. I liked being a waiter more because you can always walk away. It's that thing where it's like the hierarchy. Sure, the bartender's up here, but I was always like, I remember at the restaurant I worked at, the bar I worked at, this attractive young girl got hired and she put in all her hours and she got into be a bartender. And she was like, how long have you been here? I'm like, 4 years. She's like, why aren't you a bartender? And I was kind of like, I don't want to be one. Yeah. I'll bartend on the roof for a banquet, but I want it to be over. I don't want to be the guy who, because I was that guy too. It's like, if I was drinking in the bar, I would be like, let me tell you something about my, it's like, stop,
and then if there's regulars, they kind of feel like they own you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it can be tough. I mean, the money's better as a bartender.
Yes.
And you might be able to drop a shift. You might only have to work 4 shifts a week and still make the good money. Right. But you're right. It's there's a higher price to pay though, for sure.
You're trapped.
Yeah.
You're absolutely trapped.
But and the thing is too, I don't mind talking to people like that. Like you said, unless you're trapped. If I'm out of town and I'm shooting a movie or something, maybe you just want to have a meal by yourself. Yeah. That's when it's tough, when people decide that they want to talk to you. I remember one time I was in North Carolina shooting something, and it's a Saturday afternoon. I purposely sat at a table in the bar, facing a television, so I was away from other people.
Yeah.
And so this guy comes up and he's like, I know who you are. Like, oh, well, hello, I'm David. Good to meet you. And I turned back. Everybody over there is too afraid to say hi. I wasn't. Okay, well, you did it. And congratulations. Thanks. What else have you been in? A lot of things. And then he goes, don't be embarrassed. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, don't be embarrassed. What? But I'm like, it's like, dude, I'm not going to sit here and list my credits. You can go on your phone and look it up, but just going to sit. And then he sat there, probably another 30 seconds of silence. And I just looked straight ahead and I was like, I'm not going to, oh, don't be.
Oh, that's hell. That is hell. Because you have like high profile roles you've played that are iconic.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of things, but it's all kind of random. And so I'll get people cornering me like, hey, what do I know you from?
Oh,
yeah,
like, that's
I got maybe this. No, that's not it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not going to just list all the
I know.
stuff.
It's not up to me. A lot of things, maybe this, maybe that.
Could be this.
Yeah.
My favorite was when this person knew me from Agent Carter, and they took a picture with me, and they're like, I wish the show would come back. And I'm like, me too. And they left. And then someone else said, hey, can my girlfriend and I take a picture with you? I don't know who you are, but just, you're really famous. I'll look you up later.
Oh, don't miss the opportunity.
Like, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Will that get you away from me? That's the
Yes.
same thing I've ever heard.
Don't miss the opportunity, but I reserve the right to delete this picture. Well, okay.
Keep your fingers crossed the rest of the day for me.
Hope you make the cut, bro.
For us.
Yeah, well, that's
for the gram, dude.
You know, that's what we hope for.
That's what we hope for.
Oh.
But isn't it like, you studied under Dell, right?
Yeah.
So did I. I'm months before he died. Del Close, kind of the father of modern improv, for those of you listening who don't know. And when you're back then, where you're kind of just finding your beats. And I actually had Joe Canali, remember from he was one of my coaches. He actually he tweeted at me. He's like, ask him, is improv dead? So I'm like, okay, I'll ask Dave Koechner, improv is dead.
That seems like a nihilist statement. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Is jazz dead?
Is rock and roll dead? Is comedy dead? I don't.
Yeah, of course not. We're doing it right now.
Yes.
Everything goes in transitions. But what's alive right now? Nothing, right?
No,
so due to the pandemic, theaters closed. Due to some internal politics of some theaters, they closed. Due to bad business decisions over numerous years, other theaters closed. Guess what? Something's going to take its place.
Yep.
Yep.
And
so
people will always want to goof around and build at the same time.
Yeah, it'll never die. It's an important part of a comedy. Is it dead? Well, Commedia dell'arte is 500 years old, so I don't know. And that was the origin, my understanding of improvisation. So I guess we're still moving along. It's sometimes people get disappointed that it hasn't become more either mainstream or better understood or more respected or something. And people are often surprised or angry, like, why don't they just improvise a movie? Because it's a lot of money and it doesn't work that way.
Nope.
It lends itself to certain things and it doesn't lend itself to other things. So it's not everything. And when you're an improviser, when you're really in it, it's fucking everything.
Yeah.
At least it was for me when I was coming up. And so you do get a bit myopic in terms of what improv means and should mean to everybody else. But no, it's alive and well.
Yeah. And it's speaking of the movie thing, anytime I had, a relative like, well, what is improv? What's a herald? And I was like, you've seen the movie Pulp Fiction? Yes. Imagine if they made that up as they went along. That's a herald, so like it's kind of everything. And I remember when I haven't done it in a while, I've sat in with groups, but like, it's the ultimate tightrope, even more than stand-up, when I'm just going out there and making it up as I go, because you have to make it, you're building a house with other people.
Right.
And you're like, boy, I hope this wall holds up. Too bad I can't think about it before I build it. And there's kind of nothing else like that. So it's just I like the fact that you couldn't make an improv movie. I don't think I'd want to go see an improv movie. I'd want to see people improv a movie live. in
Yeah.
front of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the
Yeah.
big thing. So do you get, I would say this before we roll the first call, do you get a lot of people asking you advice?
No. I mean, when they do, I'm often struck by the advice. Oftentimes it's from actors or something like that. I often feel like they're not really asking advice. They're asking, do you think I have what it takes?
Yes.
So,
Which I'll get, I was at the pharmacy today, just picking up something and with Rose in a stroller. I got 2 masks on. I got the covered stroller. And a dude walks up to the passes the line, just starts knocking on the glass because I guess he knows the guy. Thick Indian accent. I won't do it, but he's like, hey, how do I get the vaccine? I need it in my arm. I don't have it. And he's joking because he knows the guy, but he's not joking.
Right.
He kind of wants his buddy to slip him a vaccine. But the fact that he was like, hey, how do I get it? It kind of made my afternoon. I thought it was the funniest thing.
Oh, that's funny.
So in the same vein, I think it would be so funny if a young actor came up to me and went, hey, do you think I have what it takes?
Yes.
That's so Jamie Olsen.
How do I get famous? Like now, I got a couple weeks. Help me. That's what my job is. Help you.
How do I can I make it and keep it?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And
yeah. Ah, God. Yeah. I hope so, buddy.
It would be kind of refreshing. Wouldn't it be kind of refreshing? As ridiculous.
I don't know. Are you on TikTok? Apparently that's all you need to do. So
that's all you got. You just got to do. So that's our showbiz advice, guys.
There you go.
Hopefully we don't get too many of those. But it's
a popular TikTok account.
Yes, that's it. The end. Okay. So I haven't heard the calls. You haven't heard the calls.
Okay.
Renee, let's roll the first one.
Hey, Braunger and guests. Super nice to leave you a message. Hope you guys are doing well. So here's the deal. I'm going back to school, starting a brand new career at almost 40. Here's the bad part. I've got a field work placement, which is basically an unpaid internship for the next 8 weeks, working 8:30 to 7, Monday through Friday, unpaid. And it's an hour and a half drive away, which means I'm broke as a joke. And I just started dating this girl and want to take her out, treat her nice. What do I do for cash? I suck at waiting. I suck at bartending. Just need to make some ends meet. I'm an artist and graphic designer. No one wants to buy my stuff. Hit me up. What might help? You guys are the best. Take care.
My first reaction to that is you better drive Postmates on the hour and a half to work. That was a load. Woo.
Yeah, man. Lately, and I'm such an idiot. For the past couple of weeks, I've been like, why do I get ones that are hilarious and some that are just heavy? And I'm like, oh, it's the pandemic. Oh, okay, stupid. It just didn't sink into me because I didn't read the room, so to speak. So sometimes we get ones like that where that's just like a puzzle.
Pretty stacked. He's working 8:30 to 7, so he's putting in more than 40 hours a week at a non-paying job. I mean, I guess the first thing that comes to mind is something in the gig economy. And he's going to be working 60 hours a week, and he's going to find out real quick whether or not this girl appreciates him.
Yeah.
I mean, he should spend some time writing letters to her and explaining his situation and how he's going to better himself. I hope it's all worth it. So he's an artist and graphic designer, but nobody wants his work.
Right.
So the thing that you do best, nobody cares for.
Right.
I don't know. I took my swing. What's your advice?
No, I think the thing that sticks out for me, he seems like he's like broke as a joke, but he's not like, he didn't say I'm going to lose my house or my apartment. Right. I'm starving. I feel like he's got some sort of money, a little saved or something, but he wants to take his gal out and treat her nice. I say, if this is a special gal, you got to sit her down and just go, look, let's talk brass tacks.
Yeah.
I'm kind of fucked for a little while here.
Yeah.
But you're very special to me. Because to me, it's like, yeah, taking people out, it's nice. everyone loves that. Everyone loves to, and you can't eat out now anyway. You can't do the big move. You can't go steakhouse dinner or whatever. So, I mean, what people most want is to feel valued and validated as a partner. So if you sit her down and go, look, I just wanted to be honest with you, and here's what I'm dealing with. It's an hour drive each way. You know, I don't want to lose you, but it's, I don't know. It's also, it's, as I say it, it's a risk,
He was just starting the relationship too, right?
Sounded that way.
Well, you got to be real.
Yeah.
You're starting a lot of things at once. Number one, sounds like you're either unemployed or leaving employment.
Right.
You're starting a new internship that doesn't pay you any money. And is that the best time to start a relationship? Well, you can try it, but like you said, you be honest up front. And I don't know how long the internship goes. Plus, I don't know where he lives or any of those particulars that would come with his viability for job options.
Yeah, I mean, I used to, when I worked as a PA in old Hollywood, a PA, aka a lunch fetcher, I didn't make a lot of money, and on the weekends I would occasionally bartend or wait tables at banquet events, which are typically on the weekend. And I don't know how big of a city you live in, caller, but there are typically those sorts of events. Those are opening up more and more now, and they will hire unskilled labor. They'll train you on the job. They'll go, look, can you carry a tray of dishes? Can you practice? Can you do that? We just need you to run dishes out to these tables during this wedding.
The other thing
that could be a supplemental thing you do one or two nights on the weekend.
He's got a 3 hour, so it's an hour and a half each way.
God damn it! I don't.
That's a pretty deep hole. God bless you, buddy. You're working all weekend, and you're working nights.
Yeah, I just feel. I mean, are these hours possibly adjustable? I just feel like sometimes the unpaid internship thing is you have to go, wait a minute, am I in an indentured servant here?
Right.
Will this lead to something? I'm not making you second guess whatever that thing is. You seem to really value it, but that seems exploitive to me, just off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'd get off that unpaid internship as quickly as possible. Work that right into a job. Better be worth it.
It reminds me of you mentioned a certain theater that went out of business because of bad business practices, and I think you and I both know which one that was. And that's where one of the places I started out back in Chicago. And I remember talking to a guy who was like, he didn't want to take, after Dell died, they added the sixth level, and he was like, and I can't afford it, so I'm not taking it. And they were like, well, you can intern. He's like, I'm not carrying kegs of beer around every night to be in your fucking improv class. I just had a flashback of that. So it's like, you have to kind of weigh these options in terms of, is this internship worth it? Or are they just using you? Right now in the gig economy, that stuff's running wild, where it's kind of like the dangling carrot that might or might not exist. So anyway, something to think about, caller. You're in a pickle.
You're working weekends, bro.
Sounds that way. Okay. Renee, roll the next call.
Hey there, Matt. Long-time listener, first-time caller. How you doing? I was calling because I have two questions for your guest, Mr. David Koechner. My first question is, what kind of advice would you give to aspiring comic actors? Because personally, I'm a big fan of everything you've done. All your performances I have sincerely enjoyed. And to me, you have the kind of career that I would like to emulate. So what can somebody who's down in the trenches do to get up to where you are? My second question is, I have 4 of the Anchorman Funco pop figures. Why is there not a Champ Kind Funco pop figure? I think that's bullshit. I want to see something done about it. What can we do about it? Your thoughts on that? Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Two easy questions.
I'll take the second one first. I know very little about the Funko pop culture stuff. I don't know why, if there isn't a Champ Kind one, why there isn't. What can be done about it? I guess you write your senator. The other thing is, won't affect my life. I don't get any money from Funco, so God bless them. I guess that leaves me with an opportunity to create something like a Funko Pop Champ Kind figure that is not whatever that is. It Funko? Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
That is not that. So that it's only by itself. So what can we do about it? I don't care. Number one, he said comic actor, not comic.
Yes.
So get in class 5 days a week. Make it your life. That's all you can do. So here's what I say to people for your advice. Read Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell.
Yep.
Listen to the book On Writing by Stephen King. And I say listen to the book because he narrates his own book and it is delicious. Yep. And his book will teach you what he does, his thing. It's very disciplined. So if you can emulate those things and the people that are talked about in Outliers, that's the best advice I could give, because that's basically the Outliers is the theory of 10,000 hours, which leads to success. So go get it. But also the other thing I say is you got to decide. You can't half-ass it. You can't go, I think I want to, I am going to be X, done.
Yeah, that's it. I love that you laid it out in a samurai style, in the Bushido style, because it is a discipline, and people don't want it to be because it's fun, and it is fun. But I love that you brought up On Writing, because that's one of my favorite books in terms of any creativity. Because I'm sure there's listeners right now who are like, Stephen King, he writes scary stuff. It's like, well, two things. One, horror and comedy are basically different twins.
Yeah.
They have very, very similar elements. They touch on realities in our lives, as well as other things. But more to the point, that book is about harnessing your creativity and figuring out in a real way how good you are, which you can always improve. And one of the things that always stuck out for me in that book is he's like, there are very, 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 very few great writers. And it's almost impossible for a good writer to become a great writer. But an okay writer can become a good writer. And so since I read that, I've always felt like, oh my God, I feel like the pressure's off. I feel like I can work to be a good writer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that might sound to people like I'm not, really trying, or I don't believe myself enough. It's exactly the opposite. Right. With what he's talking about, great writers, he's talking about the monsters of literature. Right. He's probably not even talking about himself.
Probably.
Though he should be.
And also it relieves you of the responsibility of not trying.
Right.
So if I'm willing to be good, then I have the chance to be great. If I'm only willing to be great, well, now you might not.
Yeah. No, my wife nailed me when I was dealing with, I'm not the best at social media and promotion, how to get, it's like every week it's a bit of a struggle to get enough people to call. And a lot of that is because people don't like using their phones and calling. I get it, but she's kind of like, I was like, this, and this. And she's like, you realize what you're doing, right? You're shooting yourself down before you actually, try this thing. And I'm like, oh, fuck, you're right. And I think we all do that. Yeah. I think we've all sat there in front of an empty page and gone, there's no point to this. Nothing I write is good. I'm just going to go dick around on Twitter and watch whatever TV show or something and not make anything today,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you've got to confront whatever is going on with you and our job, our business. I mean, that's what we have to do. I mean, we do it as humans, because otherwise then everybody's out to get us. Like, well, you sit with yourself for a second, and you get down to it, you get to that feeling of what it feels like to feel this thing that maybe someone doesn't like you. What's it feel like? Well, what's it really matter? All that matters is that you like you. That's where you've got to get to. You have to.
No one wants to, just despite how funny, Rodney Dangerfield or Richard Lewis are, they like themselves. They have to.
Yeah.
As much as they just shit on themselves on stage. And every self-depreciating comic, you're going up there going, this bit I love to do. I love when it hits, because the people who don't write for themselves, they're so unhappy. They you know, and I don't mean like write for other people. No, I mean they write for themselves, but they don't write stuff they like, and they say stuff they don't like or believe in. They're miserable.
Yeah.
The example I always say is like you can never tell exactly what a crowd wants. You can guess, but you might as well just say what you, because an obvious example is the time I did a show for very elderly people.
Oh.
I just decided to go a little blue, and they just loved it.
That's so
loved it.
Yeah.
Because they're used to being
pandered to in a different way. Yes, almost talked down. Just like I grew up before you did. Yeah,
I've heard it.
Yeah,
I've heard it all. Every guy in here is 80. Every guy in here has been to a bordello.
Yeah,
every guy,
or possibly a fucking war. So try to show me horror.
I've been to heaven and hell. Do you understand? Bordello and war. I've been. Okay. Sonny, there's nothing you can shock me.
Try me, exactly.
Give it a shot. That's great. I love that you didn't. You really could have gone cynical on that guy. On this
film. Well, if someone's got a dream, I hope they at least try.
Yes, I'm the same way. I never, because it's it takes some guts. Even though I was anonymous, he was very sincere.
Yeah. But yeah, it really is. Go do the work, man. The other book is Relentless. It's the guy that was the strength and conditioning coach for Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, and Dwayne Wade, I think. It's a pretty intense book. Relentless. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness. That one I'm not as familiar with, even though I'm known to have a massive sports background, as you know.
Okay. Yeah, I think you dig it. Because it's about work ethic. It really is.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always have that. I have such a massive respect for athletes, because it's to get into the NFL and any of those stuff, you have to love it. And it's got to be hard to love sometimes, because you are always, I'm not going up on stage against another comedian.
Right.
Win or lose, fight or fall, it's just me. There's no one next to me. They take his wrist and put it above my head.
Yeah. I'm a big Chiefs fan, and we just lost the Super Bowl.
Sorry.
And then a couple weeks after, I see some stuff on Instagram, back at it, day one. And you're like, wow, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Time to get back to work.
Yeah.
Holy shit. You got exactly where you wanted to go. You made it to the Super Bowl and you lost.
Yeah.
And in less than a month, you're starting over.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And every one of those guys cursed life, cursed God, cursed themselves, and then just had to shake it off in a couple days and go, well, I'm going to kiss my wife and I'm going to eat a piece of pie. Get back.
I'm going to get better. Then I'm going to go after the same goal I just missed. Mm-hmm. It took a year to get there.
Oh my God.
It took me a year to get to the place exactly where I wanted to be, the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Bananas.
Now I've got to convince my whole self. I've got to convince my mind and my body and my team and my whatever, all my relationships in my life and my town that I live in, that we're going to get back to the Super Bowl.
Yep. And I have to make sure
I
have to make sure it's not a lie.
Yeah.
This has got to be honest. This has got to be on a cellular level. This has to be honest.
Man.
Yeah. All right, caller. So if that's not going to inspire you, I don't know what the hell. I feel like your hat just turned into Lombardi's. Just
there you go.
Shrunk a little and then went back. Okay. Renee, roll call number 3.
Hey, Matt and guest. I need a little help with something. I think my neighbor took my Easy Pass out of my car and put it in his car. I drive an old convertible. I left it on my dashboard. I noticed it was missing. I don't ever recall seeing him having an Easy Pass. I think it's now stuck to his windshield. What's the best way to talk to this guy to say, can I see your Easy Pass, or should I just cancel the Easy Pass and move on?
Wow. First, what's an Easy Pass? That's something for a toll.
I have one. Yes, it is. It is a little piece of I guess computer machinery. It's very small, and they just send it to you, and it's the LA toll system, and you have a switch on it that goes 1, 2, 3. So if it's just you in the car, you keep it on 1. You have someone in it 2, and it means because then when you drive through, when you get onto, it only really clicks in when you go to the airport, and you can go to the carpool lane, and there's a beeps. It'll make a beep sound as you cross a certain thing, and it automatically pays the toll.
Okay.
What you do is you have it set up with your bank account. What I didn't realize is that it also takes a picture when that beep happens of the license plate caller, and it will register if it's in the right car or not.
Oh, there you go.
And if it's not the right call, if it's not in the car, the bill will go to the driver.
Wow.
They will send it, I think, via DMV. And I say this with regret after taking easily a dozen or more Uber trips pre-pandemic to the airport to get on the road. And I would take my little Easy Pass and put it on the guy's hood and be like, it's cool, this will pay for it. And all along they were paying. I mean, I always tip them 20 or 25%. I give them 5 stars. So it at least covered that plus, a lot more. So, but now I know that. I don't know why. I know that because an Uber guy told me, and I was like, oh shit, man, I'm sorry. He's like, it's cool. I have my Easy Pass. I just figure it into your bill. And I'm like, great, do that. So that will solve your problem, caller. Also, just get online and cancel it.
Yeah.
So it's useless. Don't even, I don't think it's worth.
So that's one thing. The thing that's going to eat you alive is, did some motherfucker steal my shit?
Yes. That's the other thing.
So I guess the thing is, you got to bait this guy now. I mean, do you have ring, number one? Are you in an apartment building or a house? You said your neighbor. That sounds like you have a house. So I would get ring, and then I'd bait that motherfucker, put something else in that convertible. But that's going to drive you crazy.
Yeah.
So I guess the better thing to do is forgive the guy as quickly as you can. Otherwise, it's going to eat you alive. So let's say he did steal it. So God bless him. He's going to get charged for it anyway. Get your own, and it's not going to kill you. So
yeah, it's that is the absolute right answer. There's part of me that wants him to kind of go, hey, not even like not the hey son of a bitch, but just like, oh, you got an Easy Pass. Oh yeah, did you use make something up? Did you get the place in Oxnard or which because they come in the mail.
Okay.
I probably does not know that. Or something like that. But in the end,
yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I would just be like, I'm just gonna order another one,
But I can understand too, part of you wants to know is like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you steal it? And then what are you going to do? You going to fight the guy? No, you're just going to go, well, I know who you are, I guess.
Yeah. Well, he definitely showed you who he is.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to, like you said, there's got to be a way to track it.
Yes.
I mean, there's got to be something online. You go, I think my Easy Pass got stolen. Can you show me where it is?
If you really want to go insane with it,
Yes.
as Sean O'Connery and the Untouchables would say, that's the Chicago way. Like, it's him back times 10, and be like, someone took my Easy Pass and my dog, or something big where the person is like, holy shit, really? So the cop's like, no, at the time, your wallet was in the car, like something of value. So they track the Easy Pass, be like, where's the wallet? Like, hey.
So this happens all the time. People steal them, so I'm sure they can track it. So what you're telling me is, okay, got you. So yeah, there you go. There's his answer.
I think they can. I mean, my wife and I, we have one for each car, and it's like, we still to this day, I'm like, do we have the right one in each car? I don't fucking know.
But you'll be the one that's charged, so.
Yeah, well, you just kind of Velcro it to your thing. And I feel bad for this guy because, like you say, he's like, I got an old convertible. I mean, I picture this guy driving around in what Nick Nolte had in 48 Hours. Just a big beater,
right,
belching black smoke into the air. Like, he just had it on the hood. His neighbor's like, I'm going to take it. What an asshole.
Allegedly. Or yeah, like that. You can bait your neighbor. You leave your wife out overnight naked one night and see what happens.
Next thing you know, she's living with him. Shit.
You took my Easy Pass and my wife and my second Easy Pass. Thank you.
Am I right? Hey. Okay. Well, Koechner, first off, I'm gonna do this lightning round for you. It's a new thing on the show where we have people who have written in, and I'm gonna see, if we can answer some of these. They're very quick and easy.
Okay.
But before I start do that, what's anything you want to plug or share?
Let's see. Not right now. Let's see. I'm doing the Goldbergs, so people can enjoy that.
Yes, good show. Funny.
As you know, there's no touring happening, so there's no shows to necessarily plug. There's a movie I've got coming out in March called A Week Away. Thank you.
Nice.
I shot it 2 years ago or something. A Week Away. What else? There's another one on Netflix or on one of the platforms called The Right One that I'm in, sort of. So I don't know. I don't have anything else to plug right now. I got to figure out what I want to do next. I'm kind of toying if I want to write a one-man show, because my stand-up was all about my family, and I've got divorced, so that's changed all of that material remarkably. So I'm kind of looking at it right now. Like, do I want to do, the old character I used to do, Gerald Tibbins? I'm like, do I want to do a Gerald Tibbins album, or do I want to write a one-man show? Tons of characters.
I would do both, and I wouldn't throw away your material you had before the divorce. I would use it and comment on it. From both minds.
Wow, that's a good idea.
Because people like I know I like a little bit of meta sometimes. Where it's kind of like, because one-man shows are all kind of, we've seen Fred's bit, from Portlandia, Fred Armisen's fake one-man show where he goes through all the, the year was 1974. Rolling Stones are playing. Keith Richards is playing electric guitar, and he's just doing it. It's just all these dumb act outs where they take you to the moment. I think with a one-man show, it's good to step out of the fucking moment or the argument you had with a child, and you had some wrap it all up in a bow with "I love my family," and you kind of step out of that spotlight and go, "That's how I felt 4 years ago." And kind of comment on that. So it's they see the construction of it. That's
a great idea to look at the material you're doing and why it's changed. That's great. Yeah.
I get people who call me on stuff, because I have these albums from since 2009, and my viewpoint on so many things have changed, and people are like, well, why this I found not so much offensive, but it's just like that felt off, and I was like, oh yeah, looking back, that's a different guy.
Yeah.
It's me, but yeah, I don't necessarily believe people change, but I think they get better or worse.
You hope, right? Yeah.
Let's say. So yeah, it's like hopefully I've gotten better, but it's like there's things I used to say that it's like, it's fun to watch that, but that just ain't me. The guy his whole life was built around, when can I drink again? Things like that. It's like,
I know
really?
that guy.
That was the goal? Yeah.
Yeah.
You had the belt. I remember back in Chicago, you'd be like, I got the belt. Can't beat me.
I'd give it back. I'd give it back in every drink, I tell you. Oh, please.
Good.
Lord.
See? But we've grown.
That's
We're
true.
better.
That's true.
Okay, so first
Lightning
one.
round.
Lightning round. Any chance of a reboot for the Naked Trucker and T-Bone show?
Well, there you go. No, Dave Allen's not interested in doing the Naked Trucker. I've tried for the last number of years, and I can't get him to do it. If he does, I'd be delighted. But that's closest we'd get to that is a T-Bone's concert of some kind.
Yeah. Well, there was that night where Matthew McConaughey showed up and gave shots to everybody on stage. I mean, if you get friggin' golden boy Matthew McConaughey behind the show, if you get him as VP.
Yeah, Dave's moved to Salt Lake, so that's another impediment. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful town. All right. This is going. Have there been any roles that you passed on that, looking back, you wish you hadn't?
If you look at my resume, I've not passed on anything.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like there was a time where I didn't go in for certain things because I thought I was being pigeonholed. I for some reason, growing up, I thought I was like, I'm a serious actor. And then I would do a comedy and would kill it. And people would be like, you should do that.
Right.
And I'm like, no, but I want to be like that guy. I want to be that moving guy. And it's like the day I broke out of that shell was the day I kind of became me, you know. And I would turn away from doing these. Oh, he's a henpecked husband or whatever in this thing. And I wouldn't even go for this audition for a pilot that might turn into a big show. Like, what were you? So I have those. None of them came to fruition. I wouldn't look at a guy on TV and be like, they took my spot anyway. But so
the only time I didn't go was it was the network callback for so sorry. The family show. God damn it.
Modern Family?
Modern Family. Here's why though. So it was going to be me and the fella who's the dad. He's wonderful.
Yes.
Ty Burrell.
Yeah, Ty Burrell.
So it's me, Ty Burrell, and somebody else to network. I knew, first of all, they wouldn't honor my quote. And it was in January. So they would have cut my quote in half. And for people that don't know, you work all your life to get to a certain quote. Now they've gotten rid of it completely. You get a certain amount that you're guaranteed to get paid for a television show. So they were not going to honor that quote, number one. Number two, I already knew they had Ed O'Neill in the show. So that's going to be two bald guys. Probably not going to happen for me. Number three, I knew that the show creator had worked with Ty Burrell the year before. And probably was going to cast him anyway.
Yeah.
So, and that's what happened. So I was being brought in just for a dog and pony show. I wasn't going to get the job, and that would have reduced my quote to half.
Yep.
They were cutting my quote in half.
And that would have set a precedent.
Yes. So I would have had to go with that quote for the next several years. So yeah, that's the only time I you kind of regret it, but I don't think I would have gotten the job anyway.
No, exactly. You were hedging your bets.
Yeah.
In a perfect way. Okay. Oh, wow. All right. What is your favorite Replacements album?
Well, Tim is the first thing that comes out of my mouth because I think that was the first Replacements album I bought.
Okay.
It was a cassette, by the way. So I'm going to say Tim. Although I love the Replacements. But if I had, there you go.
Yeah, that
I love all of them.
It's just a pure fun band.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so many of those songs touch me.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of it. When you get that band that's like, ostensibly, a college party band in a way, but so smart and so much feeling. There's like that undercurrent of the sentimentality of youth. I like to call it.
Yeah, and so many things that at the time define you and your friends, and it's just a beautiful poem that's you're all sharing at the same time. That's
yeah. Okay, it looks like the last one. This one's for me. How do you feel about it being 5 years since the last episode of Agent Carter? Weird. I don't know. Strange. I've lost some weight. My life is, I miss it, but my life is better now. I don't miss my life then, where I was just moving in with this lady and I was worried because I'd never lived with anyone romantically before. And boy, did it pay off. So it's like, I saw comedians getting cars getting coffee with Seinfeld where he had Eddie Murphy on, and Eddie Murphy's got like 1,000 kids, and he was like, he was in the car with him, and he was like, so do you look back and you miss certain things? And he's like, no. He's like, this is the best time right now. This is the best. He's like, that's how I've always looked at it. And I used to never do that. I used to I remember being nostalgic in college for like 8th grade sometimes, which is just so stupid.
Yeah.
So even that, especially because I was still young, but it's wild that it was 5 years, but it's that when you're on, you must look back on movie experience and go, I can't believe I was even in that. How cool.
You look back after you got cast and go, how did I get cast? Wow, that was so fortunate.
Yep. Without a doubt.
Yep.
I look back on this. I was in a show called Up All Night with Will Arnett and Christine Applegate, and I was the wacky neighbor. And the rap party, I brought my buddy Mike Burns from Chicago, and we were up on the Andes, used to be the Hyatt House, the Riot House, right next to the Comedy Store. And we're all up on the roof, and there's all these execs and people that could buy and sell us. And me and Mike are over by the side having a beer. And Mike just looks at me and he looks at them and he goes, He's like, the trick is, our job is to trick people like that into giving people like us money. And like, that's how I always see it. It's like when I'm on those sets, sometimes I'm just like, when is someone going to show up and be like, hey, you, get out of here.
Well, convince yourself that there's someone's going to go, hey, you, we need more of you.
Well, no, you know what? It's like, I do think it's like, I definitely serve a purpose, and so do you, but you know, you do have those moments where you're just like, I can't believe I can't believe I'm here. And when I was on that set wearing clothes worn by people originally that are long dead, I was wearing clothes from the 1940s.
Wow.
You know, and that they keep in that warehouse in the valley. I'm sure you've been outfitted with that stuff, where, you know, they just, in case they want to do like a crowd scene from the days of Jack Johnson or something, that's everyone dresses up.
Sure.
Period piece, yeah. They have those clothes in every size, and they cannot sell them ever because their rental money is so high. You know, it was surreal. It was surreal.
Right. Some actor wore that, and that actor was happy that they were working that day.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Well, David, this is an absolute blast, man. I'm so glad I got to have you on.
Right on, man. Hey, great to see you.
Good to see you too. This is the great thing about this podcast, is it's not only fun. I get to see old friends sometimes who you don't get to see anybody anymore.
Right.
You know, so I'm excited. Go listen. I know you're above 65, so go get the vaccine. And
I was talking to Dwyer today, our mutual friend Matt Dwyer, and we think we're probably in the next batch, which is down to 50 people.
Nice.
50-year-olds. And by the way, did you see today, Abbott from Texas has taken off all mask requirements for the state of Texas, which just is bonkers. Fucking bonkers.
Dude, after the frost god bombarded their entire state, and because of deregulation, they had no power ever. And then now it's kind of like, no, you know, we're going to leave you on your own again.
Yeah.
And give you no guidance. You've earned it. Get out of your house.
100% open, no mask requirements.
And
just when the CDC is still warning, like, hey guys, we're not out of the woods. Keep your hands and arms inside the vehicle at all times. No? Okay. Well, fuck it then. So you know what? Let's don't end the pandemic. That just ensures it's 30 million people in Texas. It ensures the pandemic is going to go all the way through the end of the year.
I don't get it. I mean, I get it. It's this fucking need to be liked after this horrific disaster.
We're so close.
So close.
So now, instead of it being almost done at the end of May, it's going to go through the summer. And guess what? Thousands more will die. Okay, Greg Abbott.
Thanks,
you're a
buddy.
hero. You're a murderer. There, I said it. Okay.
You're a murderer, David Koechner.
You murderer. Okay, baby.
In a good way. Thanks so much.
Pleasure. I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
All right. Take care.
Take care, man. Oh man, I love David Koechner so much. He's taken friends of mine on the road and helped out. And I meant when I said he says hi to everybody. It's amazing. If you want to call and get advice from somebody like that, call 323-763-0228. I've got Marl Wilson coming up. I've got Roy Wood Jr., many more. Call right now, 323-763-0228. Thanks a lot.
This Might Help with Matt Braunger was created and hosted by me, Matt Braunger. Produced by Outer Circle Media. Executive producers Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcasts.